planets of the solar system line up neatly into basic groups. Nearest the Sun, we find 4 small planets made from rock, minerals, and metal. Beyond these are 4 gas giants. Gas giants are huge planets of swirling gases without a solid land-like surface. Earth belongs to the first group, the 4 planets nearest the Sun. Other group members include Mars, Venus, and Mercury. Scientists call this group a variety of names, including the Inner Planets, the Rockies, and the Terrestrials. Each name describes something special about the group. The planets are in close to the Sun, they have rocky surfaces, and they resemble the Earth in a number of ways. Terrestrial means Earth. Let's meet our rocky neighbors, starting with Mercury. Mercury is the planet closest to the Sun, orbiting at a distance of about 36 million miles, 57 million kilometers. Like all the Rockies except Earth, Mercury is named for a Roman god. Mercury was a wing-footed messenger famous for speed. Indeed, Mercury travels faster than any other planet, rushing around the Sun at 30 miles 48 kilometers per second. Mercury's speed keeps it from being pulled to a fiery death by the Sun's strong gravity. While Mercury zooms around its orbit in just 88 days, it rotates on its axis slowly. Rotation on an axis gives planets day and night. Mercury needs 59 Earth days to rotate just once. In other words, Mercury's day lasts almost 2 months on Earth. Mercury is the smallest inner planet. Its diameter is less than half of Earth's. In fact, Mercury is only 1.5 times the size of our Moon, and smaller than some moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Mercury's surface even looks like our Moon's. The Mariner 10 space probe sent back photos showing thousands of craters across the surface. Mariner 10 provides the only pictures of Mercury's surface. These craters, like those of our Moon, reveal a history of bombardment by meteorites and other space objects. Most of the strikes on Mercury probably occurred billions of years ago, when our young solar system was more crowded with rocks and other debris. The rocks and debris have been gradually swept out by the planets or pulled into the Sun. Long ago, the Earth may have also been heavily cratered, but nearly all traces of the ancient craters have disappeared. The Earth's surface, unlike those of Mercury and the Moon, constantly changes because of 2 special forces. The first is plate movement. The Earth's crust is cracked into over a dozen pieces called plates, which slowly move. Over time, plate movements lead to dramatic changes to the Earth's appearance. Plate movements also cause earthquakes. And volcanoes, and push-up mountains. The second force changing the Earth's surface is erosion. Water and wind wear away high spots and fill in low ones. Slowly but surely, plate movements and erosion have erased most signs of the Earth's early history. By contrast, Mercury's pock-marked surface seems stable. There are no signs of plate movements, and erosion occurs slowly, if at all. Mercury has almost no atmosphere. An atmosphere is necessary to create eroding winds and rains. Mercury is so small, its gravity cannot hold onto light atmospheric gases. Atmospheric gases such as hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen regularly escape from its rocks. Without strong gravity, the gases simply float into space. We might find Mercury rocky, hilly, and empty. Its lack of oxygen and high temperatures would make Mercury a poor place to live. Traveling farther from the Sun, we meet Venus, named for the Roman goddess of beauty. Venus is the brightest planet in our night sky. At times, it's easy to see near the horizon, just before sunrise or after sunset. Venus is slightly smaller than Earth, but has a denser atmosphere. In fact, Venus's atmospheric pressure is 90 times heavier than ours. This might make shooting a basketball very difficult. Though Venus is farther from the Sun than Mercury, its 800 degrees Fahrenheit, 450 degrees Celsius surface temperature makes it the hottest of all planets. Venus's thick atmosphere traps heat because of what is known as the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect works like this. Heat leaves the Sun in energy waves. These waves of heat energy pass right through Venus's atmosphere without warming it. But they do heat Venus's rocky surface. The surface then gives off, or radiates, some of the heat, but in a different wavelength than the Sun sent. These waves cannot easily pass through Venus's atmosphere and get trapped. This causes heat to build up, leading to a higher than expected temperature. A greenhouse on Earth works much the same, except panes of glass trap heat. The greenhouse effect keeps Venus so hot its surface rocks may be just starting to melt and a little soft, like warm chocolate. Venus is not only the hottest planet, it is also one of only two which rotate backwards. On all planets, except Venus and Uranus, the Sun rises in the east. On Venus and Uranus, it rises in the west. Some astronomers believe that Venus, like Uranus, got knocked head over heels in a collision with a comet, and now sits upside down on its axis. All planets, and even the Sun, tilt on their axis. But none do as much as Venus, which leans at an angle of 177 degrees. Earth and Mars each lean at an angle of about 25 degrees, or roughly a seventh as much as Venus. Even though Venus is closer to Earth than any other planet, it is unlikely we would ever want to live there. The heavy atmosphere causing the planet to be hotter than an oven has thick clouds of deadly sulfuric acid. All spacecrafts which have landed on Venus stopped working immediately because of the planet's heat, sulfuric acid, and pressure. At 93 million miles, 149 million kilometers from the Sun, conditions are just right for life as we know it. Though we receive less than 1/billionth of the Sun's heat and light, It is enough to keep us warm, in part because our atmosphere provides some help with a small but important greenhouse effect. In countless other ways, Earth is finely tuned to support plants and animals. An abundance of water, varying weather, a coating of soil, and the presence of oxygen all help support Earth's colorful tapestry of life. It's beyond this show's scope to closely investigate Earth as a planet. Earth needs its own unit of study. Let's look at Mars, the last of our rocky neighbors, and the only one on which unmanned spacecraft have successfully landed and explored. This red-tinted planet, just over half the size of Earth, is named for the Roman god of war. Mars' surface is full of craters and volcano mountain peaks. None of the volcanoes are active, but Olympus Mons stands 3 times taller than Mount Everest and is the largest volcano in the solar system. Mars' rugged surface shows some signs of erosion. Perhaps water once flowed freely on the planet, which long ago may have had a warmer climate. Mars still has water, but it is frozen in polar ice caps. 2 things may have contributed to a warmer past on Mars. First, its volcanoes once released lots of gases. These form a thick atmosphere which held in heat through the greenhouse effect. Over time, however, Mars' weak gravity was unable to hold on to the atmosphere and the planet cooled. Second, Mars' axis wobbles, like that of a slowing top. The wobble takes about 50,000 years to complete one circle. When the axis tilts a certain way, it leads to a colder world, as it is now. Mars' surface temperature now averages at least 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius, below the Earth's. Still, at the equator, the temperature can reach a pleasant 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. The presence of water and relatively mild temperatures make it possible that Mars once had life, at least of microscopic size. Perhaps some form of life is still there. Among our rocky neighbors, and indeed among all planets, Mars seems the most friendly for us to visit. A constant quest for knowledge, especially in recent years, has helped us learn so much about these places we have yet to touch. Your future promises even greater discoveries about our rocky neighbors and what lies beyond. Let's take a few minutes to review some of the things you learned in this video. In the following quiz, fill in the blanks with the correct words when you hear this tone. Good luck, and let's begin. 1. The 4 rocky planets include Venus, Earth, and Mars. Two. The rocky planets are also called the Inner Planets and Terrestrials. Terrestrial means Three. Because of bombardment from meteorites long ago, Mercury's surface looks like our 4. Mercury lacks an atmosphere because its is too weak to hold it. 5. Venus's thick atmosphere traps heat because of the effect. 6. On Venus and Uranus, the sun rises in what direction? 7. The Earth lies between the planets and 8. The Earth's crust is cracked into a number of that move. 9. Olympus Mons is 3 times taller than Mount Everest and is the tallest volcano in the 10. Is the only planet on which unmanned spacecraft have successfully landed and explored.